Hi, welcome to AI for Everyday Use. Today we're going to talk about how I use AI to help me make purchase decisions. Specifically, I'm going to take you through three examples. Going through the process of buying a bike, buying a watch, and I'm going to take you through the process that's been ongoing now for about, 5 or 6 months of buying a new component for my stereo system. Here's why I find this to be a better approach and kind of the whiff of what's in it for you, right? There's no ads. When you write a prompt, you have the ability to provide context and details, and they stay with that chat throughout the whole process. And you really see this in the example around the stereo component. And I can actually define how I want the output to look, and I'll show you an example of that when we go through the bike. So this gives me the ability to chat, if you will, with AI through the buying process. It allows me to make a more confident and well thought out purchase. In each of these examples, what I'm going to do is kind of go back to my basics. If you've been watching any of my videos, is I'm going to define the role, who I want AI to be. I'm going to provide an objective. I'm buying a bike, I'm buying a watch, I'm buying a stereo component. And I'm going to put details around each of those so that you get more context and the AI engine has a lot more to work with and come back with better results. And then eventually I'm going to tell it how I want my output to look like. I'm planning to get a new bike, specifically a gravel bike. The one I have is over 10 years old, and I purchased it for mountain biking, and most of my riding these days is on trails. So I thought I'd lean to AI to get some help. Asking what's the best hybrid or gravel bike is vague, and it's not going to give me the level of information I'm looking for. It'll just come back with marketing fluff. I prefer to work with AI as my retail advisor. It's not a search engine. I'll do my best to provide details, specifics, situational context. And the first thing I do is assign it a persona. I'm not looking for an assistant. I'm looking for an expert to help me out. Let's take a look at the prompt I started with. Okay, here you can see it's now acting as a track product manager, and I'm asking for help to understand the differences between two different models. I let it know that I have a Sport 5 today, I like it, and I ride it down the beach. I also let it know that historically I've been riding a mountain bike, and it's really not the best bike for what I'm going to do now at this point in my life. I let it know where I ride, so it has an idea, it knows the trail. Let it know I need to find a new bike, and when it gives me the output to put it in a table so I can easily compare what's the different features and pricing and go from there. I also asked it to give me any recommended upgrades. Let's see what we got. Providing those special details completely changed the output. Instead of giving me generic bike specs, AI started comparing the two models based upon exactly how and where I ride. And it also came back with some ideas on the best ROI for upgrades. I did ask a few follow-up questions. Bike brands and models other than Trek, what is the ideal bike size given my height and weight, and whether a used one is a better value. And that's the core difference right there. One reason this worked is I wasn't starting from scratch. The context carried forward, which made it much easier than Googling. Because that context carried forward organically through the conversation, the AI knew exactly why the frame size mattered for my height and weight and stated the pros and cons of going with a used bike. I didn't have to re-explain myself. That's a thinking partner at work. And best of all, there's no ads. Here's the table output I requested. It's easy to read, concise, and gave me enough information to allow me to make a good decision on which bike to purchase. And for those of you who are curious, while I haven't bought the bike yet, I am going to go with another Sport 5. The same approach works for almost anything. Let's take a look at this second example where I was looking for a watch as a gift for my son. Instead of opening up a blank chat window and typing out a generic question like, is this specific Timex watch good? I took a picture of the watch and uploaded it directly into the chat to give it immediate visual context. Then I added his lifestyle parameters. I told the AI he already owns a few watches, but he's highly active, plays golf, has 2 young daughters, and dresses business casual for work, so he needs something genuinely durable. By feeding it the photo alongside his lifestyle details, the response I got back actually made sense for how he lives his life. Instead of just reading me a standard spec sheet, The AI analyzed the actual watch design from the image against his day-to-day routine, compared it to what he already owns, and confirmed it would make a great, solid, rugged, everyday watch for him. I think I'm going to go with it. Now, for this third example, we're stepping things up. I've been on a journey since late 2025 to purchase a new digital to analog converter, or DAC, for my stereo system. And no, as you can see, I still haven't made a final decision. But notice what's happened on the screen right here. I didn't just open up a blank chat window and ask about audio gear. I went directly into a permanent workspace or projects within ChatGPT called Home Audio and Video. What this does is simple. It preloads the baseline context for everything I do with my home setup. It stores the exact blueprint of my amplifier, my speakers, my room layout, and my technical preferences, so I never have to retype them. Because the long-term context carries forward, I had the AI generate this timeline to keep track of my progress across 25 and 26. This isn't a buying journey, it's an evaluation and education journey. Every time I watched a video or wanted to compare a new model, I just dropped the details into this same thread. The AI remembered my exact system limits and instantly told me if a specific DAC would actually improve my sound or just be a bottleneck. But there's a clear boundary here. The AI was a great thinking partner to analyze specs and narrow my choices down to 2 final models, but it can't tell me how that music is actually going to sound in my living room. I still have to make a final decision, but by letting the AI handle a heavy research lift over the last year, the whole process has been productive, educational, and honestly, a lot of fun. Throughout all these 3 examples, the common theme is context, right? Writing that prompt and giving it details. The more information you can give it and the more you can describe the role it wants to play, the better results you're going to get. And specifically, what problems are you solving? What problem are you trying to solve? Is it a budgeted problem? Is it a process problem? Is it an idea problem? How will I use it, right? And you can see with the bike example, and even with the watch example, I went through in kind of detail how I plan to use it. Do I own anything that complements it? You can see that within the stereo chat that within a defined project, it knows every single component I have. So that every time it tries to come back and recommend, does make a recommendation for one of them, it knows what all the components are with it and how to complement it. And then I define what matters most. And in the end, I eventually make the decision. So you can actually expand on it to go in and check stock, do pricing, any marketing bias. There's a lot more stuff you can do with this if you just want to keep asking more follow-up questions. So I cut down on the amount of research that I've had to do for any kind of significant purchase. I let AI do a lot of the work, and it's really helped me out. I mean, there's several other examples I probably could share with you, but these are 3 I think that make the biggest impact. So I hope you enjoyed this. Open to your comments, suggestions of new ideas, and I'll link I'll put the prompts in the description so you guys can leverage those as well. That's it for now. Take care.